Hey guys and gals, Aunt Diane here. It has been a couple of crazy weeks. Anyway, the last video I said I was going to talk about scams from the point of view of the victim. And as you can see, I look like crap. My hair is like all frizzy and stuff. And it's been raining every day for like the past month. And in the 90s, feels like 100 with the heat index, whatever. It's gross. I'm looking forward to like October, which will be nice. Anyway, I figured a picture of this llama would be an improvement to how I look today. And this other picture on the right, with me with the librarian look, whatever. I had makeup on for that, but not in the mood for that crap right now. Anyway, what is the psychology of a victim of romance scams? Okay, this could probably go for any scams, but right now I'm talking about romance scams because it totally breaks my heart when I hear about them. Of course, you hear about them a lot on Scamfish or Social Catfish. I watch them a lot. And I also, one of my favorite anti-scam channels, Romance Scammers and Online Scams. And her favorite character, Annie, and she's got another lady now, Lola. And it's so funny because it's kind of like revenge. Um, they kind of bait the scammer, and they're like, they play dumb, like, you know, um, give me your address and I'll send you a picture. And then Lola will let him have it. It's so funny. Um, but recently, I guess a couple weeks ago, that's how busy I've been. I haven't even got to watch it. One night I'm going to binge them all. There was a sad story that somebody wrote in that they were scammed by somebody. And these are not stupid people, but they are vulnerable people. And it really upsets me that they know they are hurting this person and they have no conscience. All they want is money, 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 money. Why do they think people in the United States are rich? Have they seen our homeless on the streets? And it's Americans that do it too now. In fact, you can't just blame Nigerians. I mean, yeah, I guess they're the ones that started it first, but no. They come from Asia, they come from America, North America, South America, everywhere. So I don't think we can say any country is innocent. What really bugs me is when it's a person that is a widow. Okay, it's bad enough if it's a divorcee because they're lonely, they're older, a widower. It happens to a lot of men too. And 99% of the time, I do feel bad for the victim. But there is one instance where I do not feel bad for the victim. And that is the videos I watch on other channels where the person who is being scammed is really convinced that it's really the person in the picture. And they're married and they're going to leave their spouse for this person. Not only that, but they're taking away their money out of their joint bank account to send to this person because they're convinced, they're going to be together. A guy that's middle-aged and, fat, out of shape, thinks he's Mr. Stud and, he's going to get this 20-year-old looking girl when there's a scammer behind it laughing their butt off while they collect the money. And I'm going to leave my wife for this girl. She's the girl of my dreams. My wife is boring, no good, blah, 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 blah. And then when they find out that they've been scammed, it's almost like they don't believe it. I do feel sorry for the spouse of the idiot that's doing that. But I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry, I'm being honest. I do not feel bad for the guy who thinks he's a stud, looks in the mirror and sees Brad Pitt instead of his own face. Okay, I'm not one to look in the mirror and think I'm some young, sexy model. I know I'm an old fart. That's fine. Okay, I'm in love with another old fart. We're doing okay. The point is, if some young guy, even if it was really a guy, and 99.9% of the time, the scammer is not the person in the picture. The people in the picture are victims as well. So you can't get mad at the person whose picture it is once you find out. But if some young guy and it was really him, I'd be like, get out of here, you little shit. You know? I don't have time for little, peewees, get lost. But chances are it's not a real person anyway. But what really, really bugs me is when you think about it, if you know somebody who is very vulnerable, I'm going to ask you to do this, okay? It's something to think about. You don't have to do it. But it might be something for you to think about. Suppose you have an older friend or even a friend your age and they're lonely. They're either divorced, widowed, or, they just never got with anybody. And they're very, very vulnerable. Or say their husband passed away and left a nice pension for the wife to live on the rest of her life, a paid off home. And this lady will meet a scammer online, be convinced that it's real, and be sending this person money that her deceased husband worked his butt off for, to send some cheap little thrill online who is not the man he says he is. That really bugs the crap out of me. Not only are you spending your money, but you're spending the rest of your security. You're just taking money that was left for you in good faith, a man that you loved for years and years. Do you really think some little cheap scam artist or even some young stud that you see online is going to make up for that? It's not. And if you have a friend who's going through that, you may want to say in a very kind way, if he's such a great guy, he should be able to get, women in his own country. Why is he reaching out to you? Because he sees that you're vulnerable? A nice way to say it, not say, don't you big sucker, who'd want an ugly old thing like that? That's a horrible thing to say to anybody. Because everybody is beautiful in someone else's eyes. Personally, I don't like it when a guy looks too perfect. Because it's almost like, well, if he spends all day doing his hair and looking perfect, then, what else does he do with his time? Does he have a job? Does he do anything? Does he work on car? Is he too much of a prima donna to touch anything and he just looks in the mirror? And when somebody is using a picture like this, say a bodybuilder or somebody, why does this person still believe him? Yeah, I'm 78 years old and this 30-year-old man is madly in love with me. But he needs me. He's a widower. He's got one child in boarding school, and he needs me to send him $500 so his daughter can get a new iPhone when she doesn't even have she barely has the cheapest, Android phone. She's going to send money for that. Oh, and I'm going to come and see you. Can you send me a first-class ticket? I don't even fly first class. Why would I be sending it to you? But this person builds themselves up. Then, I'm going to pay you back when I get there. But I only fly first class. Of course, they will send a picture of themselves with a bunch of yachts in the background. Or the old I'm in the hospital trick. Just the person in bed, waving. Or just putting the fake picture on top of a person laying in a hospital bed. Or when the victim actually says, "How do I know it's you?" They'll hold up a sign. They'll cut and paste a little sign into the stolen pic and say, "I love you, so and so," and that's enough to believe them. Come on. They're in the army. They're in the military. They're an international businessman, millionaire, work on an oil rig, what have you, on a construction job overseas. And they're stuck, they have no money, this, that. They'll give you a real sob story. I can't chat with you online because the security here will give away where we are. It's in the military. Or there's something wrong, the internet connection's not very good here. Okay, but why are you messaging the person without live chat? Oh, well, the messages don't take up as much room, and it's an older person uh, who hasn't been on computers all their life, like many of us have been on them for many years. But if it's someone just getting on for the first time, they're going to think, oh, okay. Then if the person actually calls the victim, and it's obvious they have an accent other than where they say they're from, a lot of times the victim will say, oh, what an exotic voice. Oh, yeah, that's because I traveled around the world so much. I pick up a lot of accents. Even if this man were real, which 99.99% of the time it's just a stolen picture, why would you want some stranger in your life suddenly? I mean, that's ridiculous. You fell in love with a picture and with a dream and with hope because you have a good heart and you want to help somebody. I'm in the hospital, I need help. I got arrested and I'm being held at Border Patrol and they will not let me out. They took my passport away and will not let me leave until I pay $50,000. Well, I don't have it, the victim says. Well, just put a second mortgage on your house. You're right, the house that your deceased spouse worked hard all their life to buy for both of you to give you some security when they're gone. Okay, the same could be true of a man who was a widower and his wife had passed. I miss Matilda, but this new girl, Shotzi, is a hot number. That girl, Shotzi, is some man sitting behind a desk or in a room full of other scammers with a model's picture on it. And you have any more pictures? Sure. They'll put a bunch of pictures with different poses. The man will say, how do I know that it's really you? Cut and paste a picture saying, I love you, James, or whatever the man's name is. Guys, even if you know not to do this, please, anybody you know that is doing this, you are chosen because you have a good heart, because you look vulnerable. You're obviously a widow or a divorcee or just a single older person, lonely, bored. Nobody online is going to fulfill your life. If you're a senior citizen, there are lots of clubs and just ways to get together with other people your age and with common interests. There are other ways, and you'll meet friends, and if one of them happens to turn into a romance, fine, but friendship should always be first. This way you're really meeting a person face to face, and you learn to care about people as friends, and if, something else happens after that, fine. If not, you've made a good friend. And I'm also telling this to people who would be nice to tell your friends that you hear from somebody, hey, I met this guy online and I'm in love. And say, really? Let me see his picture. A lot of times deep inside, the victim knows they're being scammed, but they just want to hold on to that little hope of the fantasy of it being true. But gals, guys, you are better than that. You are too good for that. You deserve somebody real, and you deserve to love yourself first. You do not deserve to lose all your money to somebody who gives you false hope and then they don't really exist. The other day, I read something in Dear Abby, an older man who's a widower, and he met this lovely Chinese girl online who is widowed as well, and he's going to visit her. What do you think our chances of a successful marriage are? And Dear Abby, actually, her daughter took over since she passed away years ago. She said, the first thing she said was, are you sure that that's really that woman, that it's really her? A couple of sentences like, please be aware of, scammers who aren't really who they say they are. The only thing, she goes, and if it is real, I give it a 50-50 chance of being successful. The one thing that she left out that I wish she had added to that warning is, do not send any money under any circumstances. If that person really needs money, they can get it from someone they know there. If they really have their act together, if they're really so great looking and smart, and if they're rich, they shouldn't need any money from you. There's no secret little manager holding their money hostage. I got gold. I got millions of dollars of gold to send, but for it to clear customs, I have to send them $10,000. I mean, that is horrible, and it's just making me really mad. And the fact that there's also on Reddit, Safe Haven for Scammers or something like that, or Scam Busters, I forgot what it's called, but sometimes, at least once a day or at least a couple times a week, somebody will say, I met this person online and, do you think it could be a scammer and whatever. And of course, the people who are the mods and who have been on that site for a long time will say, yes, this is a scammer. Don't send any money, don't do this or that. So they're watching out for their would-be victims. There is also a site somewhere, I forgot. It might be in Reddit or it might be somewhere else. What they do is they put, my phone gets so filled up I can't have all those apps, unfortunately. There is also a place where they collect pictures that are used in scams. So in addition to the reverse image searches that you can do in Google and a couple other, you just put reverse image and a couple of sites will come up. I think they change every couple of years, but the most favorite one is Google search, reverse image search. There's also social catfish, but they do have a charge. But I don't know, the way I see it is if they're saving you millions or thousands, at least thousands of dollars in heartbreak, maybe it's worth the little fee. I mean, that's for you to decide. Some people have tried it and no pictures came up that match that face. So it's not an all-inclusive, but I do give the guys and the gal credit for helping some people. I guess, unfortunately, there's only so many people they can help. They must get thousands of inquiries. Can you do my story, whatever. And at the time, the person still thinks the scammer is a real person. And I have one more question before I go. Has there ever been a case of somebody being accused of being a scammer and it turns out they're not? If you know of any, can you let me know? Not for me, but I just want to know if there are. Maybe that little 1% is why the hopeful people out there still do this, still fall for the tricks. Or they could just be new at it, and it's their first time dealing with it. I think that 99.9% of them are scammers. I'd even be willing to say 100%. I'm sorry, but I mean, I could be wrong. I'm being overly negative here, but I can't help it. It just really bothers me to see people suffer like that. And I spread the word to everybody I know. I mean, I'm a pain in the ass about it. I don't care. I'm just a little channel There are several big anti-scam channels on YouTube, but I just have to say my piece, and even if it helps one person, then I've done my job and it makes me happy. I just want you guys and gals to all know you are worthy of happiness. You are beautiful, whether what you see in the mirror you like or not. Beauty, real beauty, comes from the inside. And other than being lazy with your grooming, I mean, I've seen people do that, they don't clean themselves enough. Or, that's something you can fix, okay? Unless you live in a part of the world with poverty and don't have water, then that, I apologize for that, and I'll take that back. But if you live in any modern country with all those facilities and, if you're afraid of water, you don't like to do it, you may want to seek some help to why you don't want to do it. Because it's not only a social grooming thing, but it's a health issue as well. Okay, and with that said, you're still beautiful. Everybody is, including this gorgeous llama whose picture I stole. I will be back again soon. I've got some other ideas cooking it, and another scammer movie that's been around for a while. And this isn't a scam. It isn't a romance scam movie, but it's about a group of people that scam others, and it's very interesting. I will speak to y'all soon. Love you guys. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.